Hey there, welcome to the Mobility Shop Live. I'm here with Margot McWhirter. We'll be back after the introduction. Hey there, welcome to the Mobility Shop Live. I'm your host, Justin. I'm here with Margot McWhirter. Margot, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So we're here with Margot McWhirter. Margot is an OT as well as has a master in gerontology,
right?
Obviously, and you said you've been working in the healthcare space for a while. So tell me a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself, and let's talk a little bit about your healthcare experience.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm certainly happy to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Margot McWhirter. I am a registered occupational therapist with a master's degree in gerontology, which means the study of aging. Most of my clinical practice has actually been in the area of home care, although I've also worked in rehab and acute care hospitals.
Okay.
In addition, I have long-term care experience, having worked as a interprofessional staff educator trainer,
Okay.
as well as a resource consultant to kind of key decision makers.
Okay.
At this point, I'm actually self-employed as a consulting OT
Okay.
and educator. And part of what I do is really to help people who are navigating the healthcare system
Right.
and community services, as well as exploring equipment and housing options to meet their needs.
Which is very important, obviously, and that, a lot of the people that we encounter obviously need that support to understand what's available to them outside of the equipment. I mean, we provide the equipment aspect,
Right.
but there's a lot, that goes on within the healthcare space.
Exactly.
As well, right?
Looking at that whole kind of approach
Okay.
is really valuable
Okay.
to a lot of the clients and families that I've helped.
Perfect. So I guess the first question I would ask, sort of talk to a little bit of, so, actually my wife works for the CCAC.
Okay.
So talking about, when someone is discharged or is being discharged to the home, what are some of the aspects or things that they would need to, take into consideration when they're being discharged and want to be, stay at home?
Right.
What
right.
are some of the things that you would think would be needed, I guess?
Okay. Well, really, the good news for everybody is that the healthcare system, our healthcare system that
Right.
we've all paid into through
Right.
taxes, is available to the majority of Canadians when they need it. The challenge, though, comes into when individuals are trying to navigate that complex system,
Right.
when themselves or a loved one is experiencing an acute or a chronic health problem, and possibly they're feeling quite anxious about how to make decisions,
Right.
probably or possibly with either limited knowledge or really feeling the pressure of timelines. So when this situation occurs, and that obviously happens every day,
Right.
it's really helpful to slow down, take a deep breath,
Right.
and kind of think about things, managing things one step at a time.
Okay.
So I suggest that people begin by being really clear about what their goals are.
Right.
So don't worry yet about how you're going to accomplish them, who's going to do it, and when it's going to happen. Really just start by naming them
Understanding or, right.
and then writing them down if you can,
Right,
because
right.
that helps you and others communicate your needs. So some examples of goals that people might have might be to continue to live safely and independently at home.
Of course.
It might be to get help with showering or dressing or laundry. Or maybe it's a family member who is searching out a local day program for a parent with dementia so that that person can attend while they go off to work.
Right. Okay. So I guess one of the questions then is, how does someone access the services and supplies that they would need, or what are some of the options, or who do they contact, right?
Exactly.
Or who's involved, right?
So it really kind of can start from a number of different points.
Okay.
So once you've identified what your goals are, you need to let people know.
Right.
And it really is going to depend on where you are.
Okay.
If you're in the community, you're probably going to tell your primary care physician. If you're in hospital, you want to talk to the nurses or the social worker.
Right.
Or again, if you are at home or at any point in that kind of continuum of care, you can contact what used to be called the CCAC or Community Care Access Center. structure,
Right.
now called the Local Health Integrated
The LHIN.
Network.
Yep.
And what not everybody is aware of is that you can actually refer yourself, or if you have their consent, a family member, a friend, or a neighbor, to healthcare and community services throughout Ontario
Okay.
by calling either 310-2222, no area code is needed, or you can go online and look up www.healthcareathome.ca. There's also the Canada, or throughout Ontario, the 211 service,
Okay.
which it has limited hours of operation, but that's another kind of referral service
Okay.
and a way of accessing that.
Okay.
Another thing to bear in mind is if somebody is being discharged from hospital to home and is in need of continuing care,
Right.
chances are the physicians or the nurses will have made a referral to the LHIN on your behalf.
Right.
But if you're not sure, ask before you leave the hospital and make sure that you or a loved one knows who you need to get in contact with if your health care or health status, I should say, deteriorates or changes once you're back at home.
So sort of mention there, like, what are the next steps? Like, if someone's having difficulty figuring out,
Yeah.
what are the next steps for them to take?
Well, certainly important to even just be aware of what the variety of services are that are available.
Okay.
So personal support services, nursing, physio, occupational therapy, social work, and dietary services are available to eligible clients through the LHIN service. There are some important kind of limits to be aware of.
Okay.
First of all, the LHINs rarely are able to put in 24-hour care for nursing or personal
Right.
support help. And in some cases where there might be additional community support services that somebody needs to access,
So funding,
it
third-party
might,
funding.
It might be based on either a financial assessment or
Right.
co-payment.
Okay.
And some individuals either choose as an alternative or a supplement to those home care, those LHIN services,
Okay.
to actually pay privately.
Right, private pay.
So by going online, looking up terms such as private home care, home health care, personal support, I'm just going to refer to my notes here, some homemaking, meal
Right.
delivery, foot care, and then in-home nursing, occupational or physiotherapy services,
Right.
you're going to find that. And then you can also enter terms like home health products or medical devices into a search engine to be directed to retailers such as yourself, who will sell or rent devices that are going to allow people
They'll
to
support them.
remain at home. So to go back to your question about, how do people sort of figure it out,
Right.
that kind of goes back to this idea of being really clear about what your goals are,
Okay.
but then also being flexible about what methods you're going to use.
Right.
Knowing what services and expert advice is available to you.
Okay.
So looking to the professionals, whether it's your family physician, home care services, etc.,
Right.
and essentially getting that help, seeking that information. Or some people actually are also looking into hiring system navigators,
Okay.
which are essentially private case managers or care coordinators.
What would something like that cost, just out of curiosity?
It's really kind of dependent on the
On the-
individual.
of course, and the need, I guess,
and the
and
need,
requirements, but yeah.
exactly. It's a model of service that in the public healthcare system, it is the care coordinators and case managers from the LHINs
Right.
who are doing that.
Okay.
However, whether it's in cancer care or starting to transition more into elder care services, there are a lot of private companies
That will
and
facilitate
individuals
that.
would need to kind of contact them.
And so that the price would range based on obviously needs, requirements,
Exactly.
and level of requirements.
Yeah.
Or service, level of service required, I guess.
Right.
Okay, so you mentioned, sort of, we obviously here at the Mobility Shop, we do, sell home healthcare equipment. What are some of the things that, home healthcare equipment that you have experience with, or devices that you feel, people will typically look to use in and around their home?
So when we're talking about clients and we're talking about individual situations, we do really have to remember that no two people, even with the exact same health condition or problem, are going to experience that exactly the
Right.
same. So what is needed by one individual will not necessarily be needed by the other person, or it could be that they both require the same kind of type of equipment,
Right.
but one has very specialized considerations, and somebody else may be able to purchase an item off the shelf.
Right.
So what we have to think about as well is that some people actually kind of resist the idea of, medicalizing their
Right.
home or accessing those products. But just as some of us wear glasses or use cell phones or microwave ovens, all of those kinds of aids to
Change
daily
happens.
livings, exactly,
Yeah.
and assisted devices
Yeah.
really help
Improve lives.
improve lives,
Yeah.
decrease pain, increase energy level, and really make it easier to do everyday activities.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking about the kinds of equipment that can be beneficial to people, people just need to kind of look around your website or around the store here,
Yeah.
and they're really going to see that there's different categories of equipment.
Yeah.
So there's things like transfer and mobility equipment, there's bedroom products like hospital beds, positioning wedges, there's bathroom safety equipment, as well as aids to daily living that can help people with activities like reaching or dressing or feeding.
Yeah.
And then there's all kinds of other devices that can be available, medication reminders, as well as electronic
Right.
medication reminders, monitoring medical alarms, and alert systems that can kind of provide that peace of mind
Yeah.
to people and families in the event of an
It's
emergency.
interesting you mentioned that. People sort of joke about this as being a senior's toy store, right?
yeah.
It's a senior's playground,
Right.
For people with mobility issues, right? Obviously, there's a lot of products in the store here. One of the things you mentioned actually, and I think from the mobility shop perspective, we look at it, and I was actually just on a call this morning talking about sort of the mental health aspect of, it's very debilitating to be sort of confined to your home or to, even to a room or to a bed and not be able to get out. And a lot of these devices, well, they help from a physical standpoint. They also, help mentally, right? They help people feel sort of, they provide that sense of mobility and that sense of freedom
Yes.
that maybe, obviously having a disability or as we age, limited mobility may restrict us from getting out into, visit with family and friends or get to the mall or do different things. So I think that's a huge factor. A lot of people,
Absolutely.
maybe overlook is the fact that, the equipment or even just any service, right?
Yeah.
Having the ability to get a good meal, or, we talk about Meals on Wheels or things of that nature, or being just bathed, or, feeling clean, or, having that care where you can go from, your bedroom to the living room, and having someone to talk to.
Yeah.
I think the mental health aspect is huge. And it plays a
Absolutely.
huge role in everything we do from all of the aspects there. So obviously want to thank you for coming on, Margot. Tell
you.
the viewers there a little bit about where they can connect with you
Sure.
and contact you, and hopefully we'll have you on the show again at some point as
like
we
that.
progress. This is the Mobility Shop Live, so it is going to be daily. As of today, we're going to be doing this daily at noon. So if you want, as a guest, would like to be a guest on the show, come in and discuss about things about your business or about things that you do within the community, we'd love to have you on. But Margot,
Yeah.
tell us where can people connect
So
with
the
you?
easiest way to connect with me, basically, shoot me an email. My email address is my name, so it's margotmcwhirter@gmail.ca.com. I never remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember. This
can
is
tell
me.
you right now.
It's .com. Sorry.
.com, yes.
Yeah. So
it is.
margotmcwhirter@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to follow up and have further conversation. And thank you so much for having me today.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Margot. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye-bye,
Thanks
everyone.
again from the Mobility Shop Live. Hopefully they could hear us.